AI models like ChatGPT can't actually speak to the internet. So if you give it a web link and you say, hey, look, read this page, summarize the text for me, and then let me know, it can't actually do that. So if you're trying to build something like I am, which is an AI appointment setter, an agent, an AI agent, you might have heard that word thrown around a lot. And what that essentially is it's a function where a trigger happens. So in our case, a new lead comes in. When that happens, it will run this line of code or several series of code steps, like the start of an SOP. You know, like the order comes in and then you do this with it. That's what happens. It starts to do a process. And throughout the process, it then references AI, like OpenAI or Gemini or, Claude or any of the AI services out there you can choose. And then it retrieves the data from that and it does things with it in the rest of the code. And then it finishes running. So in our example, what it'll do, a lead will come in, it will take the name and the phone number. It will then send a message that has been templated to say on WhatsApp, hey, you're interested in this. Okay. When they then respond, that's another trigger, and that will then take the information of that phone number. It will look up which lead the message is from. It will read what information we have about them, read the message that they put. All of that information will go into an AI, and then they will form a response based on our processes and systems that I've given it in the prompt, and then it will return a message to that person, and then that message will go, hey, I'm going to send the WhatsApp message and I'm going to update your CRM. Long, convoluted way, but that's essentially how AI agents work from what I understand and building one myself. So what I'm talking about today, I was thinking there is a cost to prompting an AI, and you pay per character that is sent to it and per character that it delivers back. So I was like, well, I don't want to slow this down by sending it this huge prompt. Can I just send it a web page, a Google Drive link that is accessible by anyone with all of the information I want it to know? Because you can do that in ChatGPT. And what I've just found out is that that's not actually how it works. So no, you can't. A large language model can only receive text as an input. And when you send it a URL, it reads the text, not where that is sent. So what you would have to do if you're building an AI agent is you add some code or a tool that can extract data from a web page or a PDF to then feed it into the prompt, thus not changing the initial size of the prompt that is being sent. And so I asked ChatGPT, how do you do this? Because this seems odd when you can do it. And it's like, I know it looks like I can do it, but I actually can't. I have built-in connectors that when I see a web page, I then give it to this tool. The tool opens the web page and it gives me the text back to then interpret. And then I reprompt myself, essentially, all in the backside. So all we see as users is our initial prompt and the output. But what's happening is it's an initial prompt, goes and sees that there's a URL, then it takes that information and it reprompts itself, and then it comes out with an answer, and then it gives it back to you. And so if you're going to build an AI agent, that's what you would have to do for it to read external URLs. There you go. I just thought that was interesting. And I wanted to share that with anyone who was wondering what an agent is, how you would build one, and the fact that large language models can't actually access the internet, which is why, if you remember the first ones that were brought out, they were trained and you could only use them based on the data set that they had. And so they weren't good for accessing new current information. And that's why. There you go, guys. Have a great one. Peace.